Hi, my name is Miss Jacqui. I'm a spoken word artist. I am a manager, performer of all kinds of things. I do music on the side. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Things that inspire me to be creative, I think family, mainly who I am as a person and who I want to be, like the everyday life. Like you'll see different situations and really want to write about it, or someone will say a line and I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool, I'm going to write about that. I think it's important to be creative because it's self-expression. It's you get to be who you want to be whenever you want to be, and I think me especially, I find it easier to be creative than academic. I was really good, I had good grades. Yes, I got a degree from my mother, congratulations, it was her degree. But I feel like sometimes people try and separate creativity, like if you do poetry or if you do music, you can't put them together, and I think we get trapped in a loop of everyone trying to do the same thing, but it's important to explore creativity as much as possible because it's about being creative and about being who you are and what your voice is. What inspires me? Family and like music especially, just because I like how different people make music. Like I have there's only two artists that I will ever fan out for, like, oh my god, and that is a guy called Jacqui, with 2 Ks, and Janelle Monáe, just because the way they come at music is very different, and their lyrics, I will literally hear one line and maybe write a piece about that one line, just because they look at the world differently, and I love that, and I love any artist who looks at the same thing differently to everybody else. So those 2 artists are the only artists you'll ever see me go, oh my god, oh. Everybody else, I'm like, oh my god, they're human too. They're like really cool. Janelle Monáe is amazing on so many levels because it's the way she looks at things. So first of all, let's do head to toe, right? She has a fashion sense that is so quirky but so her own. That's one. Like I feel like she's very, I don't have to wear short shorts and have my boobs on show to be amazing. And even her fashion sense, she now is changing, but she used to just always wear like black trousers and a shirt. And the reason she said that she does that is because it was an homage to her mother and her father, because they worked really hard. So she was like, this is my uniform for when I'm on stage. So that's number 1. 2, she keeps it classy. You will never find out that she had a fight with somebody in a club or all of this. Like, there's no madness around her, and her music is just, it speaks to me on a level that a lot of music doesn't, because I feel like she's very free. She puts no boundaries around herself or her creativity, so she's very open to experiment with different sounds, and this album will never sound like the next album, or even on an album songs never sound the same, which I think is amazing, but there's always a story. Her album is always a complete story, so yeah, she is amazing. If I ever met her, I could die happy that day and just be like, oh my god, I met her. I think now more than before, or now more than ever, I'm really trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and push the boundaries of what I can do as an artist. I don't want to be stuck in a box for too long, because like before, I think I only wrote what I thought people wanted me to write, if that makes sense. But now I write what I want to write and what I feel people need to hear, even if it's uncomfortable or it's a topic people don't normally talk about. I think that's where I'm trying to push boundaries, and I'm trying to incorporate more music and poetry, because I always thought I had to keep them separate, because that's what so many people have told me to do. Like, oh, music is over here and poetry is over here, and I think I've got to a point where I'm like, but why? If I'm the same person, I can bring those 2 together and make magic, music, poetry stuff. And it's been working, and I like it. I like experimenting with different sounds, different instruments. Like I wrote a piece a week and a bit ago with a violinist, and if I never thought to explore music and poetry, I don't think I would have ever approached him to do something with poetry. So I think always trying to push the boundaries out of my comfort zone, because I feel a lot of artists get stuck in their comfort zone or what they're known for, and then they don't try to go out and learn or create something that is completely different to what they are. It all started because people wouldn't believe it now, but I used to be a very introverted person. Like I wouldn't talk to anybody if I was like in a new room or whatever. And my mum signed me up to like a drama school club thing, and I hated her for it. I was 13, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to do it. She was like, well, I've already paid the money, so you have to go. And I remember guys every week hating being there, but there was one session where the teacher was like, we did like an exercise, and it was about like get to know who you are kind of thing. And as soon as we did that exercise, I was like, oh my god, I actually love this class. And I went back, and literally from then I've just been trying to look at different art forms and what I can do. So I went from acting to photography for a little bit, to music, to drama again. Like it's always been a never-ending cycle of just creativity. Then I kind of was testing out things, and then I started writing songs. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, a guy called Carlos, who works at a theatre that I do work at as well, he actually was like, oh, we're starting up a poetry group, you should do it. And I looked at him like, poetry? Like, what are you talking about? Like, isn't poetry like a guy in a hat clicking and people are just like, oh yeah, it's so deep, so deep. And it was with Cat Francois, who is amazing. Like, she's in my top 5 poets that I would love to just lock in a room so we can all work together. So yeah, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. But creativity has always been in my DNA. Like, I couldn't escape it if I wanted to. Like, I wanted to be a heart surgeon when I was younger. So I don't know how I got to poetry now, but I wouldn't change it because I think I'd still be studying now if I wanted to be a heart surgeon, and that actually depresses me just a little bit. But yeah, no, I think it's just, I always pick up things. Like, if I see something really cool, I'll try and figure out, oh, how can I do that in a different way? Or I saw that person do that and that, and I thought it was awesome. How do I mix the art forms that I have together? So yeah, it's like a never-ending journey of just try things out and see where they go. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do whatever you want to do. That sounds really cliche, but if you want to have a show where you ride a unicorn while you beatbox and someone else spits poetry, you do that. Don't let no one tell you different. And that's what I tell my artists all the time. Like, the sky is not the limit. It's not even it's not even the beginning. It's the locker room before you start the race. So do whatever you want, whenever you want, and challenge yourself. Always push yourself to be greater than what you were yesterday. So, okay, so you have the race, and everyone's always focused on the race, but there's a beginning point before you get to the race. So you have to leave your house, you have to drive to wherever the race is, or get public transport or whatever to get to where the race is. Then you get to the locker room, you get in your zone, and then once you're in your zone, then you put on your gym stuff or whatever you're running in, and then you start your race, and then the finish line is whenever the finish line is. But you need to go through all of that before you even get to the race. And I feel people was like, oh, the sky is the limit. No, the sky isn't even the beginning. Like, it is the locker room. Like, you're alive, you're doing your thing, but it's the beginning. So that's where you got to go put on your leotard or whatever you're running in it, and that's where you get ready. That's where you get your mind right, is in the sky. So yeah.